they're looking at. So much gold they have to work with. Dyrus, he should be okay in this situation. His ult is up again. He's gonna go ahead and whimsy out of this one. He'll be all right.
Is he?
Oh, Ultec, he's good to go.
And he got the flash from the Triss. It was a desperation play. It was a desperation play.
Very desperate.
Well, they are very desperate, so they tried to make something happen, didn't pan out, so now it's going to be a even bigger answer from TSM.
Difficult situations, difficult times here for EG. Low on money and trying to get kills that are putting themselves in tough situations.
Yeah, there are two schools of thought. When you're super far behind like this, you either play very defensively and turtle and ward up your own jungle and wait for your opponent to make a mistake, or you go for one of those crazy low-risk desperation attacks. And EG have always been a team that does not like to sit around and wait for their opponents to make a mistake. If they're behind, they try and force something. They try one of these desperation plays. And a lot of the times it does bite them in the back.
Whew.
Happened again this time, and they lose 2 turrets for it.
Very close.
Nope. They lose 1 turret.
Yeah.
90% of the second turret.
You're close. You were close. I'll give it to you.
He hasn't given up yet.
Just a gimme. Crepo, that's not good. Amazing could hit him with the cocoon, but they don't decide to follow. The EG spread just a little too intimidating on what could have been engaged. But still, TSM with a 10,000 gold lead will probably reassess this fight and quickly take it back in their favor, even if they got off on the wrong foot. Good given vision there by the living artillery. Looks like Dyrus is going to start creating the split push. TSM now able to dictate in more than one lane how this game is going to go. Let's see how EG reacts to this. Looks like the entire team is going to be having a party bottom lane. Why not? Map is objective free at the moment, so there's nothing to worry about. Every lane is pushed up to where they want it. It's going to be hard for EG to stop anything.
Crepo going for this.
Oh!
Not paying off.
1, 2, and a 3 is all it took on that one. Thank you very much. Says amazing on the kill, and it looks like they're going to be getting the inhibitor turret. TSM walking this one in through the front door. They at least rang the doorbell for courtesy, but doesn't look like they're going to be giving up too much once they're on the inside. EG's going to have to run out the back door, apparently.
So the thing about Thresh Hook is that it exposes you because of the wind-up time. It's not an easy skill shot to throw out. You have to stand in one place while you wind up. And man, does it open you up for counterplay.
Oh no, he's going to take her. That flash, just Turtle being able to blow the flash. He probably wouldn't have needed Amazing or Lust Boy's crowd control to lock in that kill. He is big now with the Alacrity boots on top of that phage of the Triforce. He is moving real quick, keeping himself safe and keeping himself aggressive. EG, one last chance to possibly answer.
Look at the map too. TSM have kept this map so clean of EG wards. Every time they put it down,
all game.
There's a sweeper, there's a pink ward, there's an answer from TSM. The only thing that EG have warded is the inside their own base, and this tiny little bush over here that seems to have 2 wards in it for some reason.
If they can get to it, they're going to pull a Fnatic.
That is, yeah. The EG are like, they are not going to Fnatic death push us. That is something they don't have to worry about, though, because TSM don't need to sit in a bush and wait.
But you're right, Kobe. Especially in just the situation of finding those wards, help them get kills on Helios, help them escalate the game into their favor. So kind of just going along with their regular plan is what put them in the lead. They haven't really tried anything crazy.
Well, now that they have the lead, they do not have to wait for Baron. They do not have to wait for Dragon. They can easily walk up to a siege because they have so much zoning. Cocoons, Dark Bindings, both coming out 24/7, and a shield that they can put on Turtle. Whenever he activates his W to get the range, he can get several pot shots off on a turret, which will take it down very, very quickly. They can lay down this skill shot CC cover fire for him and slowly siege on whichever lane they choose. Look at this opportunity EG have taken, though, to try and get vision while TSM are away from home. They get a little smattering just outside their base, just for the off chance that they can pull off some crazy fight, picking a straggler from TSM if they get too close.
Oh, Sightstone's being used out. But at least Amazing and Lust Boy working together on those wards. And you can see TSM sweeping, warding, always remembering. I was just about to say, do you think they'll kind of forget and let it fall to the wayside? Not at all. They get right into the jungle. All sweepers, but the top 2 just coming off a cooldown have been used for Team Solo Mid. gaining all that vision. They still have a little bit more to clear, but that's only to the wall. That's EG trying to get a last-ditch effort and go for broke here if TSM were to go again.
Now, I said TSM don't have to wait for these objectives, but I guess they are anyway. Gonna play it pretty safe. Baron about to come up, Dragon about to come up. Let's see if they can get anything done on top side. Though, whoa, this rotation, they've got no minion wave to work with.
They still have to be
EG are not reacting though. They're still, this should be a TSM turret without any repercussions.
If RNG is on Altec's side, he can put out some damage. He's not looking at any armor just yet on that side of TSM, but they have to get in range, and that's been very hard for them for the past 10 minutes. 40 seconds on Baron with now an open inhibitor scratching at EG.
That's about it for EG here.
Yeah.
We'll see. Double inhibitors taken. Kog'Maw's got Trinity Force plus Bork and a Negatron Cloak. So not only does he have shields on shields on shields, but he's also beefy just by his item build that he's gone. They have nothing to worry about. Wow, they don't even finish off the inhibitor and they make the call to go bait for Baron. Interesting choice. I feel they easily could have finished that inhibitor.
They know they have the wards here. They can easily take the fight.
They're going for the bait instead. EG are taking it. Hook, line, and sinker. But they didn't take the route that TSM wanted them to take. So they actually circumvented.
Oh!
Wow. The okie doke.
How about them apples?
It's not even an old Baron buff.
But this is even like more of a forced fight than Baron is.
So I feel like they didn't have to do that, but it looked really cool doing that. It was, not only are we going to crush you, but we're also going to make you look silly running around in the jungle.
So man, the game of cat and mouse +1 to Team Solo mid inside the jungle.
That's kicking them when they're down, actually. They could do the same thing, circle around bottom. There's so many games TSM could play with all this control that they have. But.
Well, that just goes to show the amount of vision that they actually have.
Yeah.
Not even one person was caught out by the edge of a ward on that, and TSM knew well that they weren't going to be seen. You have them backing just a little bit to clear out the waves and push it back up mid. Now 8 turrets to 1 in the game. That was only the bottom turret that EG was able to grab during a Dragon Force from TSM. They haven't really been able to get out past the map.
Continue. Dun, 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 dun. Are they going to check once again? This time they're actually going for the kill. EG are not going to play this game. Oh, they are going to play this game. All right. They go face check 4-man.
Oh! This freezes them up. The flashes. Wow, TSM really wants this one. They're flashing for it. Going very hard. Bjergsen and the rest of them.
They
do push EG off. Yeah. They're going to go mid-inhib here.
They could easily swing down to that bottom one, though. They don't have a minion wave to work with. They're just going to have to use shields.
Taking quite a bit of damage. Such a level advantage coming on the side of Team Solo mid. 2 15s to some 13s, 11s. This is tough. EG either have to really put this into the late game, or they have to catch one of TSM members off guard when they're trying to just kind of walk around the jungle lackadaisically.
Good check from Crepo there.
This team's still in a scary spot. They can get closed in on.
TSM can do whatever they want around this band. Looks like they'll finally pull the trigger.
Whew.
No Poe Belter, so this would be a 4 versus 5 if TSM can turn around and force it.
5K Baron HP.
Yeah. Helios, this is actually good for EG. They've got the chance to steal.
3,000.
Helios would probably die if he went for this steal, but if he was able to actually secure it, probably still wouldn't be worth it.
1,600 Baron. Helios just on the outside as they stop it. He's going to go in. Oh, my amazing says thank you very much from the outside. That was gift wrap.
I like this whole end game is just TSM just playing games. They're like, you know what? I'm going to dangle this Baron in front of your face. You want to try and steal it? Go ahead. Try and steal it. Try and steal it. Helios goes for it. Amazing just takes it back.
That Helios had his resonating strike percentage damage and the smite. And Amazing just was like, smite, whatever, drop the mic, walk away, team gets Baron. AG picks up another dragon for themselves, but they're crawling back now, looking for the next rung of the ladder, and it's very far away from them. They get a piece of it there, but 10,000, 11,000 gold behind right now, 11 to 4, and they only have 3 turrets left on the map guarding their Nexus, and they don't even all have to be taken down. TSM has the front door to run through.
Yeah, regardless how TSM, you know, they played really well in the beginning. They got this early lead that they deserve, but they might want to look at this game with their coach again because they have opened themselves up to a little bit of risk there with the Baron.
Yeah.
That was probably unnecessary and would not want to do in most
Bit of a heart
situations.
attack. Bit of a heart attack.
Now they are finally swinging bottom to the open inhibitor, though, the bottom inhibitor here, which they can, once again, probably just stand up toe-to-toe with EG and slowly take down the inhibitor. EG, their play is going to come from long-range Cinderstun.
Yeah.
If they can get Poe Belter to hand, have a long-range Cinderstun, miraculously get through Black Shield and land on somebody that Les Boy's not watching, then they might be able to make something happen. The other thing they could look for is a flank from Inox if he TP's in behind and walks all the way to the back, but
he's 2 levels behind at the moment. He's doing what he can. He's had a tough game, had to build the exact max on each opposite of magic resistance and then armor because you're facing an AP team with then a Kog'Maw who's going to destroy through you.
Yeah.
A little bit of AP in itself, so very hard build in the lane he had to come out and fight.
Yeah, and whoever gets focused by EG too, TSM have so many shields to answer.
Right.
They don't have to use all their shields. They don't have to use them all on Turtle. If EG can't even get to the back line and can't even get to Turtle, they'll happily use their shields on their makeshift front line here.
Turtle has been standing in front. No problem with that. One stun comes out. And we got to remember, once everything is used, that almost relieves pressure.
Oh, are you joking?
Wow. Shock and awe coming from the command shockwave. Kog'Maw, Wild Turtle also picking up a kill onto Inox instantly after they have the crowd control to cinch those 2 down. And it looks like they're going to be go ahead, walk across the horn on this one and take it all down. Helios gets hit up, so they're going to put some extra damage on the backside of that. Level 14 to level 12, and you'll see that just among most of the champions levels. TSM far and ahead in this game.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking they didn't have to play all these little games.
Right.
But man, does it look good when you finish.
They are going for every kill. They're going to wipe down Evil Geniuses at the end of the game, surgically removing them from the map in a 32-minute matchup here on Summoner's Rift. 16-5 as the TSM chants come out. TSM taking down Evil Geniuses. 32 minutes.
Well, strong showing for the lineup of TSM. However, they had already beaten EG every other single time
That's a 4-0 for the split. Yep.
So it's not like bringing in Les Boy was the key that they needed to overtake Evil Geniuses.
I think this is a Baron talk right here. What happened? What was that? Wait, don't do that again. You scared me. You guys, you scared me.
Well, even if they, the thing is, even if they had given up that Baron, even if Evil Geniuses had stolen the Baron,
yeah, it would have been defense.
If TSM even just killed Helios for that, then they could have 5v4 pushed in and won the game anyway.
That's true.
But yeah, it was an interesting move.
So a 4-0 on the split for Team Solo Mid versus Evil Geniuses. Coming out in 32 minutes there, just about regular fashion for these games. Their longest matchup of the split was 50 minutes. The EG tried to take TSM into the long, late game, but still TSM prevailed in that as usual. Dyrus actually on Lulu. Hasn't played it a ton, maybe 3 or 4 times, but still putting up a really great fight on that top laner.
Yeah, and it was the same old Dyrus that we're always used to seeing. He slowly gets his CS lead, nothing flashy. He doesn't even run back and forth in lane. He just presses S and stands there.
Yeah.
He's a very calm,
He's a menace.
Calm bully in the top lane. And he slowly gets his lead. He chips away at your turret, eventually gets it.
So, of course, Team Solo Mid comes on to their first game with Lust Boy and doesn't really have like any Lust Boy-esque strategies or plays, so the fans are going to have to wait. It worked out well. The team played overall just very composed. It was a TSM. They played some wheelhouse strategies, and the Vision game was utterly awesome that came out from the entire team. They were able to keep it down. Like you said, the ward clears on point the whole game. It's kind of like they were playing inside the head of EG.
And again, amazing, still undefeated on Elise.
Yep.
He went 6-0-6. He didn't even die this game, by the way. So a lot of people always talk about the Lee Sin for him.
Yeah.
But the Elise coming up pretty big too. There's Les Boy after his first victory in North American LCS.
Seemed to have good play with the team. Picking up Morgana for this first time to come out. Safety for the Kog'Maw, something Wild Turtle could get an advantage on, and then combined with everything else they had. And great shockwaves from Bjergsen throughout the game. Very patient with those.
And he set up a lot of them by himself, too.
Yeah,
he didn't even
That's
have
not easy.
someone
not dropping
put
in.
the ball on. The last one that he did on Altec was just ridiculous.
To catch an Orianna almost mid-jump as she's trying to leave, that's not the easiest thing. Command Shockwave does have that charge, so they see it coming at you. Like you said, you're the person setting it up. Takes fast fingers and a good positioning to make that happen. Yeah. So with TSM on the up and up as well, a great time to have it here coming into Week 10 because all of these teams now are trying to shoot for the top spot. LMQ has it, and they're not too far away now from Team Silver.
We'll say at the least, this game has probably shown that bringing in Laspoy won't slow TSM down. People were worried that they would run into a lot of problems. Didn't seem like they had a lot of problems. I don't know how the communication went, but it seemed fine. People said Laspoy's English is great.
And that is a matchup to test it on. We even heard Dyrus. EG is not a team to be messed with. We've seen Altec and Crepo carry games against some of the top teams. So that is definitely a bot lane to be tested on. And in the beginning, they gave him a little bit of hell. Tristana, Altec did have that gold lead on Tristana. It's hard to do that with explosive shot in lane. So we'll see if it does play out as expected for the fans. To hear what the pros have to say about that match, let's send it over to Dash and Freak.
Thanks, Friv. We want to welcome TSM's Bjergsen and Amazing to the desk after a very solid win. Now, something I want to note right off the bat is how slowly that game started. So, Amazing, talk to me a little bit about the factors of why we saw 15 minutes go by without a kill.
Okay, early game, they have Synder in mid, they have Lee Sin in the jungle. So we just want to scale versus that. We don't really want to force early plays, want to fight them early because that's the only way we can lose that game. If Lee Sin or Synder gets rolling, it's basically like one-shotting AD carries or something like that. So we didn't want really that to happen. So I tried to slow the game down, try to control the pace of the game, try to give our team comp time to actually rise and become stronger and stronger throughout the game. And therefore, the playmaking wasn't there in the early game and didn't need to be there.
So I have a follow-up then for you. How do you, as a jungler, like control the game and make sure no enemy jungle ganks can happen?
Okay. What we did early game was we saw the Mundo pick on top, so we kind of wanted to force the enemy jungle top. We tried to do that by forcing plays onto top in the early game, like in the first 3 to 4 levels maybe, just like pressuring the Mundo a bit, so Lee Sin would have to maybe short top because Mundo could have been Doven, but that didn't happen. I don't know if Lee Sin was top, we didn't really necessarily know, but that's like the play that we would do. And overall, just after that, you just try to defensively ward, try to get as much room for your team as possible, and basically exclude the enemy jungler from certain lanes and certain lane matchups that he can influence.
All right, well, then I want to jump forward to that 15-minute mark. Bjergsen, we're going to pull up the replay here. This is where you guys are in the bot lane. You end up acing them. So talk to me about the calls that were made to get to this point and why it exploded like this.
Yeah, we already had the initial bottom tower fight where we saw Helios and Synder on the other side of the map, so we decided to go for it. We just felt like we could continue pushing, and this crazy fight just happens. Helios gets a great kick on me. I don't have my flash up, and he kicks me into the enemy team, which is really the only reason why this fight was any close. And if Dyrus didn't hit that Q, it would have been a bit cleaner, but everyone made slight mechanical misplays, and I don't know, it's just a good fight overall. That's pretty much happened because we were trying to force when we felt like our comp was even or at least as strong as theirs.
Amazing. How close is that battle for you?
Jeez, man, that was too close.
I was gonna say you must have been, holding your breath there.
Right after he said, "This is so awesome."
That was pretty up.
I like your German accent for that one too. That was good. That was your good, amazing impression. Okay, so you guys pretty much took that game business as usual. You guys are now, if you didn't know, 11-0 versus the bottom 3 teams here. You guys are 3-9 against the top 6, though. Does that concern you guys heading into playoffs where you're going to face the top 6 teams?
For me personally, not as much. I think that a team like EG, I wouldn't consider a bottom tier team. They're very, very good. We've been scrimming against them a lot, and they do seem really strong, and we were definitely scared, and we were preparing a lot for them this week because they are a really good team. I don't consider them any worse than any other top teams. So it's mainly just Dig and LMQ that we haven't been able to win against. The other top teams, CLG and C9, we are able to beat, so we just need to figure out what it is about Dig and LMQ, and I think we'll be strong around playoffs.
So is then the first round bye really important for you guys to make sure you don't hit one of those guys too early in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's obviously really important to get the first round bye, and that's what pretty much everyone is working so hard for these last 2 weeks, and that's what we're going to try to achieve.
You play CLG tomorrow, amazing, and this is just going off the point of that first round bye because they're one of the teams that is vying for that position. Bjergsen mentioned you guys have beat them, but what are the keys now to beating them in this final match of the season?
I think last time we kind of threw the game, we had a similar game afterwards with C9 where we did the exact same stuff, and didn't really throw that game. So we just have to go through our motions, go with the flow, and basically do what we practiced in the last few weeks, and we'll beat them. That's what it is. Just be confident about it, and that's about it.
Okay, well, you guys speak about coming in with confidence and kind of continuing your good record against CLG. You guys have changed up your roster, though, with 6 games to go in the regular season. Lustboy comes in. Tell me how meshing with his new player is going.
For me personally, it's going really well. Lust has had a lot of worries about his English and him coming from Korea and how we would take him, but he feels like everyone is super nice and super kind to him, and we feel like he's just a great player. Playing with him is a joy, and that's not taking away anything from Glebe. It's just saying that Lust is an amazing player, and I'm happy to play with him.
Amazing. Actually, a quick follow-up for you. How is actually his English? How is his in-game coordination with you guys?
It's like he can say the basic words, he can explain what he wants to do, and that's the only thing necessary. If you know what he wants to do, you can make plays of that, and he kind of has this certain game sense to him that you can feel as another player too. Like if you're playing on that team, you know what he wants to do without even communicating. And then if he communicates on top of it, it's a bonus.
All right, well, it'll be fun to watch him continue to mesh with you guys and see how you progress during this playoff race. I want to thank you for your time on the desk, congratulate you on the win, and wish you best of luck tomorrow. Now, we've got to go stealth for 3.5. After the break, Cloud9 will face off against Team Dignitas in our 3rd match of the day. Keep it right here because you won't want to miss a minute of the action.
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
Oh, there goes gravity. Chokes me so bad, but he won't give up that easy.
Can TSM pull this one around? Helios actually making a huge play. The rest of EG with quarter of a health bars are able to come in. Amazing! Turn it around? No, they don't. Amazing comes up huge. This is good damage. Double shockwave. And Nox is gonna get hit up after that. A triple kill coming in for Wild Turtle. Helios just on the outside as they stop it. He's gonna go in. Oh my, Amazing says thank you very much from the outside.
Welcome back to our continuing coverage of the North American LCS. Hello, everyone. I'm James Dash Patterson, and with me is David Freak Turley, or Darius. We still don't know. Now, we want to check in on the conversation happening on Twitter. Earlier in the broadcast, we posed the question, which team do you want to see represent the NALCS at Worlds, and why? And here are just a few of your responses. At FizzyOP says, it would be amazing to see TSM at Worlds. I know they would lust after the championship and would go wild if they won it.
Bjergsen. They would die Riss if they couldn't. No, I got that there. Yeah, TSM are great. They've been to Worlds every single year. It'd be a shame if they missed the streak now.
Did at FizzyOP just defeat the pun master?
I mean, I don't do name puns anymore. That's
true.
That's my defense. There we go. We're good. We're good.
You are on record saying
untarnished.
That. I'll give you that. All right, our next tweet is at Stanley A 1993. Cloud9 for sure, because even if they are having a few bad games, they pull together as a team and get the job done.
Yeah, these guys are wonderful overall, and I do want to see them go as well. They've been playing great all split long. I think they're a really good choice.
Yeah, and they had the experience from last year at Worlds too. So definitely a solid choice. Our next tweet is at Wolverine X. CLG, they're unpredictable, always finding a way to win. Their in-game adaptations to situations is unrivaled.
And CLG are an interesting story because they keep going up and down. It feels like they missed out on Worlds last time around, but they had been one of the top American teams for so long. It feels like they are on an upswing again, despite how close the LCS is split. And they're, of course, a good option as well.
Yeah, they definitely struggled last week with that 0-2, so hopefully they can turn their season around. And our final tweet is at Sonico11. The NA LCS caster team should definitely represent NA at Worlds. Did you see how they annihilated those Doom bots of Doom?
They did, and unfortunately, somehow Kobe won the MVP vote. I had them more kill than him. The thing is, I didn't even need Triforce to beat them, so, I mean, we're definitely OP.
All right, well, let's not get too crazy. Saving humanity is one thing, but Worlds is something else entirely. We want to thank everyone who wrote in, but we also want more, so keep sending those answers to us at LollySports and use the hashtag LCS. For now, though, we're going to send things over to the guys at the caster desk to take you into our next match.
Thanks, Dashcasters OP. I'm Rivington Biscuit III, and taking over the co-caster chair for our next two games is the man with the plan, Generalissimo, Joshua Jat Leesman. And we're moving into our next match, Cloud9 versus Team Dignitas. Jat, Cloud9 are coming off a 2-0 week, their first perfect week since week dos.
It's crazy that it's been that long since they had a perfect week, and their win over Curse was also incredibly close. It really came down to Sneaky's huge Kog'Maw game and that final fight. But when you just look at the trends, Cloud9 are hopefully re-emerging as a team to be feared. They do know how to win, they do have clean communication, and they've updated their champion pool, so things are kind of in the works for them to get better. The game has also been shifting to a more traditional style, which favors Cloud9, because they do better in isolated lanes than they did with all the lane swapping. So this time, they're going to be pretty good, plus they've had a good matchup against Dignitas.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, Dig were able to snap their losing streak last week. That was a long one. And not just with a win, but with a blowout against Evil Geniuses. So hopefully they carry that momentum.
And that game against Evil Geniuses was nearly perfect. EG didn't get a single kill.
No.
Dignitas took every Dragon, Baron, and EG only got 3 turrets. It couldn't have come at a better time either, because they were on a 6-game they were on a big 5-game slide, and there's only 6 games left for them as well. So they start this only a game behind second place. And now that they're on the outside looking in, the target is off their back. They may be able to make a run and climb their way back to the top spot, but it does have to start right now, Rick.
It does indeed. Cloud9 and Dignitas have had their fair share of difficulty this year. But in this match, both agree that it will come down to the team's shot calling.
Dig has been struggling recently. I think they haven't been able to adapt as quickly.
C9, I feel like they got a little complacent after they won last split, and it was hard for them to improve off of that because they had lack of practice and such.
To beat C9, we just have to make definitive calls because we're definitely individually better than most teams.
I would say that our decision making against Dignitas is probably our advantage. Dignitas cannot close out games that well, and if we could get to that point where they struggle and become confused and stuff, then we could probably beat them.
A game that's that important, we need to do the same thing we do for every team. We don't really want to treat a team differently.
I definitely don't think we prioritize games. It might create a bad mentality for us.
It just boils down to whoever can, execute better and prevent what the other team wants to do better.
I like that. That only means that we're going to get a lot of head clashing coming into this game if they both think the same thing.
And so far today, we've seen some pretty bloody games as well. So fighting is definitely starting to come back, at least in the last 5 or 6 games we've seen.
Well, with objectives on the way and the kills right in front, let's get right to it. On the blue side, it's Cloud9. Balls in the top lane, Meteos in the jungle, High in the mid lane, Sneaky at 80 carry, and none other than Elimination on support.
And on the red side, in black and yellow, it is Dignitas. Sound Spartan in the top lane, Crumbs in the jungle, Shifter in mid lane, I'm a Kitty Pod 80 carry, and of course Kiwi Kid on support.
And in today's featured matchup, we'll be watching the middle of the map. It's going to be High versus Shifter. 2 players with very, very different play styles.
This is fascinating because High, that's not High. That's Sneaky, but
that's
High is a very
High.
aggressive player that can get in an opponent's face in 1v1s during that laning phase. And then later in the game, High is very comfortable acting as the initiator for team fights, even if it means giving up a death.
Yeah.
Whereas Shifter plays much more conservatively, but much more consistently, if that makes sense. He will concede a few advantages to make sure he will be reliable and a killer in team fights. He does not go all in. He's actually a complete opposite of High, where he will sit way back in team fights and pick up the kills at the end, whereas High goes right at the start. There he is. We didn't lose him.
There's a different approach from that man. We already saw it already. He was trying to play a little Mission Impossible and put Sneaky in his spot. But it's not going to work. The lane swaps have not happened just yet. We'll have to see.
Does this tell us where they're doing High bot lane?
It might. We have to see. It may be. He may be bringing out the ADTF. Who knows? So with this, we have 1 game for Dig, 2 games for Cloud9. Can they even it up in this matchup? Dignitas, like we said, if they can bring the momentum they had versus EG, it might be hard for Cloud9 to even get a foothold.
Dignitas is a very momentum-based team. We've seen in the past, it's kind of the inverse law of Dignitas' success. When everyone expects them to win, they lose. And as soon as people lose faith in them, they start beating everyone.
Yeah.
And I actually think when they're on that losing streak, a lot of Dignitas fans lost a bit of faith. Guess what? They destroyed EG.
They did, and they may, with the option of what they pick in Champion Select. Right now, we're going to get locked into that in our 3rd matchup of the day here in Week 10. So close to those playoff matches, and these teams are striving for the top spot for that.
Yeah, and the Nidalee band comes out first. These are the 2 teams that had the Nidalee victory last weekend. 2 bans targeted at Zion Spartan. Shifter is actually not a Yasuo mid player. It's a Yasuo top that they would be banning away from Zion.
Last one to come out. What will they decide? Will they leave the Gragas up? Will they take it out? It's been kind of a mainstay for a lot of teams here in the LCS, as you just get that one for sure tank buster in the tank in the late game that can bust people.
There we go. Busting tank. You can't see it on the camera here, but I was very impressed. Crumbs has matching pants on today. He's got yellow pants for his Dignitas outfit.
Wow.
We'll get to see after the game.
Very color-coded. Crepo looked dapper today as well.
Got that nice haircut?
Yeah.
Balls as well.
And cleanliness.
He's been working out.
Always working out. This guy right here. Working the brain muscles.
I want to see Rumble.
What do we do? I'd love to see Rumble.
I was actually checking out the Brazil finals before the LCS started the day.
Yeah.
And there was a Rumble top lane in their first game. So those guys are doing it. Come on, balls. Why aren't you doing Rumble? Peer pressure.
Tristana picked up for Sneaky to start it off. The peer pressure doesn't set in just yet. But what can Dig focus? Cutie Pie is not usually one to get his AD carry right away. And it looks like he will not. Rengar and Gragas, 2 very big boys.
Rengar definitely a jungler that is seeing more and more play. We have seen a lot of Rengars in the NALCS fall flat on their face in games and have no presence. But the fact remains, his level 6 ganks are some of the most fearsome and reliable. And as far as Crumbs wanting to play a support-style jungler, while he can't support as well from the level 2 and 3 like Elise would, his level 6 ganks are much more potent and could very well go for Zion or Shifter. That's what I'd expect.
And it really plays in favor of Dignitas, too. When they got Zion and Shifter, they could play, or they had stronger solo lanes. That gives Crumbs the ability to level up to 6, have a nice farm in the jungle, and then hit those lanes if necessary. What can they deny that with? The Orianna on one side, so I'm expecting maybe a Syndra from Shifter to keep that lane strength up.
I would say that the Braum pick there is kind of the last of the really contested picks, and as soon as they're picking Orianna on Cloud9's side, they're then just picking for generalities. Maybe they're denying Shifter his Orianna, knowing that there is a Cassin potential Lulu ban, even though most of those bans were targeted the top lane. I can't imagine Shifter doesn't just do Xerath again. That's what he's been playing so much of.
That's true. Keeping that long range in, it will help. They can get the barrels out. Now the Jinx zaps and ultimate. And that Mega Death Rocket. We'll see what they do. Top lane jungle. What's going to be locked in for Cloud9? Not usually something they leave for their last picks.
Rumble. No, it's not. I wish it was. So, as far as jungle bans go, it was just that Lee Sin, meaning, hello, Elise is up, and that is really what Meteos
big shift in those bans
is very, very strong on. Obviously, he's doing a slightly different Elise build now. He's one to build damage, more so than the tank spirit, and he's actually maxing his W second as well, which does reduce the stun duration in the mid game.
So there's the Xerath being locked in with the two big men of Gragas and Mundo in the top lane. Very interesting compositions coming out from both sides. Synergy in the fight control, diving into the fight from Cloud9, a bit of that poke game from Dig.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Dig team, and it's heavily poke-based, especially with the double AP. Huge amounts of wave clear, a large ability to stall it to late game. But if I look at Cloud9's team, if you stall the late game against them, what do you really get? Because they have Tristori Mundo, which arguably could scale better than the Gragas, Xerath, and Jinx. So I do actually favor Cloud9's composition a little bit here.
All right, let's see who you are predicting to win. According to LOLesports.com, 63% of you are thinking that Cloud9 are going to come out on top here.
Yeah, but keep those votes coming because things change. Send the hashtag C9 win or the hashtag DIG win to @LOLesports. And I guarantee you we'll be updating that throughout the game, especially if it changes a lot.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder if Cutie Pie has given his words of wisdom this game. Usually only a few words that have to do with the map itself and then thinking. Either one of the few.
You could make a whole website just based off Cutie Pie quotes.
You could.
And his philosophies on life.
I could spend a lot of time on that clicking through. I think that'd be humorous. Absolutely.
Kiwi Kid, of course, really keeps I'm a Cutie Pie in check, it seems.
Yeah. Then sometimes not as well.
A lot of people didn't think Kiwi Kid had a place on Dignitas when he was a top laner for them, but his move to support really kind of revitalized his LCS career. But with all that being said, something that Yut Win wanted me to talk about.
Ooh.
He's our stats guy.
Let's chat.
You know what? We need to talk about I'm a Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid. I'll get into that in a second.
Yeah. Well, it is a bot lane that can turn heads, that's for sure.
Yeah, it turns a lot of heads, but the question would be, how much has I'm a Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid really done this split for Dignitas? Because we talk so much about Shifter and Zion Spartan and their solo lane prowess and how Crumbs just camp Zion Spartan's lane. I'm a Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid really haven't been solid performers very frequently. It's actually been a little bit of a slump split for I'm a Cutie Pie, and he does need to back it up with better play because he's in the past been one of the highest potential AD carries, I'd say, in the LCS. When he does well, he does really well. But if we look past Dignitas' last few games, when is the last time he's had a spectacular game? And you have to go way back to see that.
Yeah, way, way back. Really nothing that hits 10 kills, over 6 or 7 you only see a few times. Something that really worked for Dig is when they had the Annie in the bot lane on Kiwi Kid, when they were running that Draven, when they could both go all out in your face. Now it's farm for the late game, and it's not really working for him. We'll see if Kiwi Kid, he still puts himself in those spots. We've heard the all chats. I have Moby boots. I'm going for broke. Simple things like that.
Yeah.
Put Kiwi Kid on the initiative.
And Kiwi Kid dying so much does have to do with the team dynamic within Dignitas. He's highest deaths in the NALCS this split. But the thing is, every team needs someone to die, if you think about it. For Cloud9, oftentimes when they're at their best, we talked about in the feature matchup, it's high going into a team fight first, creating action, and just falling apart. That doesn't necessarily happen with Orianna, but is to be considered. Shifter, always sitting at the back of fights, playing either assassin champions or long-range poke champions, is never putting himself in danger. But if you actually want to keep people engaged in fights, someone's got to be in there. And when you have a top laner like Zion Spartan who plays a lot of squishier top laners, it's going to be your support and jungler all the time that take most of the deaths. Come on, man.
Whoops.
That means Cutie Pie gets zoned off as well. Not a good start to lane.
Sneaky also isn't pushing that too hard, so they're really zoning them out in these first few CS. It's going to help as well. Having Tristana, he won't be inadvertently pushing the lane on the slow attack on the minions. You see Dig trying to get themselves actually back in to not have a level 2 so thwarted off by them. And they're going to be able to get the damage trade in their favor. Nice little aggression to start off this lane.
I'm a little surprised that Sneaky and Lemon didn't try and shove this lane a little faster. There is an art into hitting level 2 right before the other team that was not executed there by Cloud9.
No, pushed off the lane and level 2 first, at least for
there we
PewDiePie.
go.
Kiwi
Never
Kid
mind.
having gone
That's
around the outside. That's where they're trying to work off of, the lack of experience there. He's still level 1, and he has blown his flash.
My days as an art critic have yet to begin, because that was a poor call there. They did actually time their level 2 just right, so that they could all in Kiwi Kid before he had a second spell. And they get the flash out of him, which means he is far more vulnerable to ganks.
I actually thought Dig was going to get in that second level real fast, but C9 planning it out ever so carefully. Meteos hits level 3 being in that bottom lane, so it's a little bit about what he wants there. Nicely done, not wasting time. So we see, at least on our vision, both junglers in the bot lane, not really affecting the game too much to start, so it is up to the solo lanes. Can Dig get the early advantage in every lane that they want?
And also, how is Crumbs going to do this as Rengar? If we think of the last game Dig won, Zion Spartan on Nidalee, Crumbs on Nunu, he was basically living in the top lane to help out Zion Spartan. Rengar does not have that capability. He really just wants to hit level 6 as quickly as possible. It does mean their lanes are going to have to fend a little bit more for themselves than usual.
We'll definitely have to keep an eye on Crumbs. One of our OPs to watch, or not OPs, but one of our players to watch, as well as High here in the mid lane. And this is Crumb's first Rengar in the NALCS.
A lot of stuff to keep our eyes on this game, in all honesty. And that's kind of been a trend we're seeing here in the NALCS. These teams are making some pretty drastic moves, whether it's in the roster, as we saw with TSM, or with trying out new champions as they need to find their optimal strategy before Super Week and, more importantly, the playoffs.
High not doing too bad, 30-25 in the mid lane. Looks like he stays safe on the siege wave. He'll go back on that.
Typically lanes with shifters